You would like a friend that I like pack up in the boat with me, and like we're just like here on the trip, and I don't judge the discomfort, I don't judge the feeling, I'm just like such a into it and just like part of it, because I just think it's really important to have that level of self-awareness, because it is how you grow, and it's also how you make money. And the specific emotion that I think you need to foster if you want to make money is calm. Because calm people make you very much money. It's always the people, and I know this after doing 5,000, I mean, it's probably over 5,000. The last time I counted was 5,000 interviews, is that the calm people are able to think strategically. They don't get caught up in their, amygdala hijacking over emotion. Just very calm, they're very strategic. They're able to effectively play the game of poker, which is also power negotiation. It is truly a game that is meant to be enjoyed.
I'm totally losing it because I do not have a poker face. I start laughing in poker and they know I'm lying. That's for sure. And I'm very emotional being too. So I do try to be self-aware when I'm angry, when I'm happy, when I'm sad. I actually have coping skills where like, okay, I'm aware what's happening and I'm feeling that. I actually started, a lot of things happened to me in 2022, good and bad at the same time. I try to be self-aware when that feeling of emotion just rushed through me. I could feel it in my heart and in my head. It's really weird. And so I start counting down to 10, just like, okay, calm down. I'm talking to myself. I'm like, calm down. It's okay. It will pass. Just let it go, right? And so I'm glad that you said that, because there are people that can still negotiate who probably are not calm like me. But the discomfort thing, I could see that working. It's just like, you're right. It's how do you actually train someone to say you are going to be uncomfortable when you're doing this, and that's okay?
So first, we bring awareness to what's going on. If something happens and you don't know what is happening or why it's happening, there's like fear and it's like super, oh my gosh. But if instead, can I negotiate? I feel, and one of the biggest things you can do is separate who you are as a person from your emotion. So I'll literally be like, okay, where do I feel the emotion? I feel it in my stomach. Is it, hot, or is it cold? What is the color of it? Is there a piercing sensation? All depersonalize the emotion, because I am not my emotions. I'm the observer of my emotions. I mean, I meditate daily, so it's kind of part of a lot of mindfulness meditation practices. But just helping women to know that, like, oh, look, like, you're going to feel this way, that is normal. So you just start to, like, normalize it and, like, befriending it, where it's like, oh, fun. This means I'm putting myself out there. And also saying, this is what it feels like to be alive. I will tell you what, I have had people very close to me pass, and I have wanted to feel the sadness of grief. And if I would have felt joy in that situation, there would have been something seriously wrong. And I'm very grateful for the emotion of grief, because who I am today, it has allowed me to foster the deep relationships that I have, and I love more deeply because I feel grief. And so I think that is it, is making that very clear expectation. And then at the same time, we train our women. When you are unprepared and even you go to speak to a large audience, like that you feel very nervous about. But if you've done so many practice sessions, you know exactly what you're going to do, and you have a very firm foundation and skill established, you're able to be next level, right? When it comes to that negotiation. We teach our women core concepts in negotiation, like reversing, don't spill the candy, double reversing, anchoring, all of these very core fundamental processes, so that they know exactly what is going on. It's so funny because our women are like, a lot of them are way more skilled than recruiters, because they know all of the cards that the recruiters have. And it's because, myself, my background is recruiting, and now leading other recruiters. My sister is a senior recruiter. What do we talk about recruiting? What do we know of employment law, what you can and cannot ask? All of that. We basically tell them all the secrets We equip them with enough training, and then we also tell them that they're going to feel like crap, and that's to be expected. And then when you have that full package, you're able to negotiate. And you're not just able to negotiate for a new job, new salary. You start being more empowered as a human being, right? All of a sudden, you realize that that person that you've been dating is not the right fit for you, and you go after the person who, maybe you asked that person out that you were super scared to ask out, right? You start actually standing up for the person that you are, because you feel empowered to do so when you have tools in your tool belt to feel discomfort and also to negotiate for whatever you're looking for,
I like that, because it's not just about job. It's like the whole entire being, the whole you as a human, as women. What did you find out in terms of why women don't negotiate? Why don't we negotiate?
So I think it's multifaceted, but before I answer that question, I will say that some women do negotiate. So like Iceland is a leader in women negotiating, and they actually took a day where they completely stopped working, and they stopped doing even the women's invisible workload. So they didn't pick up kids, and they didn't do any chores or anything. And they said, enough is enough, we will be paid more. And it was 1975, October 24th, that this happened. And an equal pay bill was passed, right? Because women band together, they advocated, and they negotiated. Now, what's fascinating is, I've done a lot of analysis, on globally and on women if they do negotiate. In the majority of the countries, they do not. And I think there's a lot of reasons at hand. I would say part of it is, the lack of the skill development. They don't really know the strategy behind negotiating, how to negotiate, even the types of things to negotiate for. I know a lot of people don't realize they can negotiate their title. They can ask for a signing bonus. If you are a manager or above, you could ask for an executive coach, a mentor. There's a lot of very strategic things that you can negotiate within an offer. So I would say part of it is knowledge. And then the other part of it is this lack of this, and I would actually say that it's an unconscious fear of feeling discomfort. Because I don't think people really realize that. I think they're just kind of oh, this is good enough. It's we become very comfortable with what we're used to and what those around us are used to. And also, if everyone around you is making $50,000, you become the five people you spend the most time around, you're probably not going to go out there and be let's get a six-figure job. I'll get a multiple six-figure. What about $1 million? What about $1 billion? That's probably not even crossing your mind. So it's really a multifaceted answer.
Yeah, I actually was teaching leadership class 2 days ago, and both of them were men, and they were just for women, and I love the conversation. And I said, my dissertation was actually looking at if there's certain values that executive women, CFO, CIO, CEO, do they have different cultural and values in terms of moral, ethical, everything else, the difference between United States and the Philippines. And this was over a decade ago, 15 years ago. And I found out that U.S. actually, even though we're for women, we have a lot of grassroots and things like that, our organization, we are the bottom top 10 when it comes to for women and when it comes to executive. And I was kind of taken by that. I'm like, really? And Philippines is a third world country, and they actually are in there. And Sweden is number 1 when it comes to women. China is a communist country, and at that time with my research, it was 63% of their executive women are CFOs.
Hold on. So women, we're in the bottom 10%. What is that measured by?
Executives by title, not by salary. Who actually held positions at CEO, CFO, CIO in the world, in terms of US and any other countries that they were actually doing a study. And I think they did a study for 10 years or maybe even more in terms of the title itself. And we didn't have that many, and I was shook. I'm I for sure would think US would be number 1, and we don't. In terms of values also with women, I could see the FMLA being only 12 weeks, whereas Germany, they give you a whole year. And I'm not sure about Sweden if it's the same, but I know that they're number 1 country for women. Even their leader is a woman.